Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
Because 90% of them are wrong. They're fucking wrong.
Max Taman.
You've got a plate of shit and you've got a bowl of shit. They're the same thing.
Scott Hartley.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
John Taman.
What the hell was I talking about?
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And now, the world's worst podcast host, John Taman.
Hello, everybody. This is the world's worst podcast host. I am John Taman. I'm your host for the hour tonight, and we're all going to have ourselves a really good time talking about this upcoming Cowboys game for the Commanders. I'll tell you what. You see on the opening there, it's got Max Taman on there, by the way. My good friend from Southeastern Virginia. There's Jesse Martin. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Of course, down there on the bottom right is always in his permanent spot, our permanent guest from Barrow and Furnace, UK, Scott Hartley. Of course, just beneath me on your screen down here from the Command This podcast, Steve Lim. How you doing there, bud?
What's up, fellas? It's Happy Friday, man. Weekend's here. It's Dallas week. Let's go.
Hell yeah, man. There's nothing better than that. I got to tell you, though, if you ever Googled your name.
Yeah, I do it quite a bit just for shits and giggles. So
Yeah, you get some pretty goofy shit, man. You could probably make a lot of money on the Korean J-pop circuit or whatever it's called.
there's a guy in the Philippines who has my name. Does some weird stuff, man. I don't.
Tell me about it. My name is some author that wrote a book about a freaking leper colony in Hawaii. So,
oh my goodness.
People from my old high school looking me up, going, "Dang, I didn't know he was that smart. And what the hell's wrong with him?" All right, so it is Dallas week, and it is Friday, and this is the general bullshit section of the show here. Does anybody have any general bullshit that they'd like to throw out and bullshit about?
Yeah, just 10 years younger Jesse there at the top. He's looking fly today. I don't know what's going on. That hairdresser's obviously sorted you right out.
I got to say, when fly was something, I don't think podcasting was a thing, was it?
Probably not.
I don't even know if the internet was a thing. Jesus Christ. And honestly, a little more oil in that hair, and you could do the 23 skidoo, I'm thinking. Hey, what am I saying about hair? I got no hair.
At least you have hair.
Well, yeah, I'm just pretending. I need to go back to Turkey and get that hair transplant, but there you go. It's what it is.
Let me tell you, as the old guy on the show, don't fret it. You don't have any hair here. You'll make up for it. Trust me. So, anyway, on that lovely note, Steve, how much hair do you have?
None.
Really?
That's
None
my
anywhere? You wax everywhere?
No, not quite everywhere.
Come on, man.
But as an Asian guy, we generally are not hairy folks anyway, so I don't even know how I can grow this beard. Don't even know, but it's there.
Well, we all kind of thought that it might have been a Sharpie. Speaking of which, Scott is sponsored today by Abner Wu Cosmetics. Abner Wu will do from Abner Wu Cosmetics. White shit for your face and hair. Ladies, the next best thing to a day in the spa. Abner Wu's white shit for your face and hair will leave you feeling radiant. Nothing's more relaxing than sitting in a bubble bath, drinking wine, and reading a romance novel with Abner Wu's white shit all over your face and sprinkled in your hair. Available now at cosmetics counters everywhere. So, there we go.
Abner Wu, man, I'll tell you what.
He's out there, isn't he? He is versatile. I'll give him his juice.
He's the next Walmart.
Wu Industries, because you can get all kinds of good shit. Abner Wu's Insect Variety Pack is always a fun favorite on a Friday night when you don't feel like cooking. Am I right, Steve?
Oh, 100%.
There you go. Abner Wu. All right, so Scott's sponsor has been read. Everybody's gotten their half a chuckle out of that. I don't think we're going to do a Yanks versus Wanks update today, except to say that somehow Scouse has climbed out of the basement. I don't know whose fault that was, Scott, but
I'll just pass that plate to you, John, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Scott beat my ass last week. But no, I did not lose to Scouse, so my honor is at least intact in that much. All right, so jumping right into it, why don't we throw you over there to Jesse because he hasn't said anything. And, my God, you've got a part down the middle of your hair there, dude. I mean, you've got it going on.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't even do nothing. All I did was took my my beanie off after work, and that's it. That's what it looks like. Long, it creeps I woke up looking this good.
I don't know if that's what you...
Just keep telling yourself that, mate.
Yeah. Look that up in the dictionary later, because I think good looks something different. I'll look that up later. All right, so the Commanders are playing the Cowboys this week after we've gotten finished with all of our general bullshit. How do we feel about this game? We'll start with you, Steve, since you are our guest and you've got the cool Wu-Tang Clan hat on. How are you?
I'm good, man. This is a game that, we're 10.5-point favorites at home. This should be one of those, slump buster games. If you're familiar with that term, it should be a get right game, and it should be telling because we should beat these guys handily. And if we don't beat them handily, if we squeak out a win, this should also be something that we should talk about too. But this should be a fun game. I don't feel like the rivalries. Usually we're on opposite ends of the spectrum with the we want Dallas week. Right. We always want Dallas. They don't really want us. I still say we want Dallas. So the rivalry is kind of dead this year because they're just so awful. But I'm still excited no matter what. It's Dallas week, baby. Let's go.
That's right. And I got to tell you, there was this fat girl in our neighborhood that we used to call the Slump Buster.
That's what I was referring to. The slump buster's a thing. So you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, a couple of beers and your slump was over.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. Now, I agree with you to a point there. I think that you're right, but it is the NFC. We should get right on this game. Scott, do you agree?
Yeah, 100% agree. It should be a blowout on Sunday, but we'll wait and see.
You're picking us to cover. What I'm hearing?
We'll get through that. We'll get through that tomorrow.
Blowout, not 10.5 points.
More than 10.5. I think we'll beat this team handily. I really do. I think we just got to get back to where we were more than 2 weeks ago. I mean, Steelers were a good side. Philly are a good side. This is going to be a difficult test again because it's, as Scouts would put it, family business. It's NFC East rivalry. But what are we going up against? And that's what you've got to look at. They've got zero run game. The only real option that they have is CeeDee Lamb. On the defensive side of the ball, you've got Micah Parsons. That's it. That is it. There's nothing else.
They are getting a little bit more healthier. They're getting.
I don't know how Zach Martin got on, but
they're all pro corners coming back. Deron Bland, so that's going to be an issue.
Deron Bland's coming back. When you say they're getting healthier, that seems to me like a POW a week after he got released. He's getting better, but still, he looks like a dead horse. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's a game that we should win, and we should win handily. But you know how this works out. This is the NFC East. Anything can freaking happen. This is, just my freaking luck. Go spend $500 on tickets and show up and they're going to freaking lose. But no, I think we should win big. I'm picking them to cover the game.
Did you spend $500 on tickets?
I mean, I got 2 tickets in parking pass. So
you spent $500.
Yeah.
Hot damn. Where are you sitting?
What's that?
Where are you going to sit?
It's at section 2, right next to where it's 218. So it was close to where we were week 1
on opening day.
It's by the tunnel. One of the tunnels, right?
Yeah, near there,
side? Yeah. Good side.
All right, that's cool.
So I mean, look. This defense can definitely be had. I think all we really need to do is just run the ball on this team, and we're going to be fine. Control the clock, and that's it.
I'm a little bit more boisterous than that. I don't want to just run this game out and control the clock and boringly beat the Cowboys. I want to air it out all over those fuckers, and really just rub their noses into it. Their season is freaking up in smoke. It's a dumpster fire, and I love every goddamn second of it. They was goddamned all in. They were all in, and this is what they're all in for. This is like ordering a garbage pizza and thinking, wow, they're going to give me all anchovies and peppers and everything. And no, they went out to the dumpster and put it on your fucking pizza and brought it to your house. So that's what's coming to our house, a garbage pizza, and I expect to treat Cooper Rush like Cooper Rush should be treated, badly. That's the way I see it. But it is the NFC East. I remember 1989. I know a lot of y'all weren't born then, but the Cowboys were 1-15, and we were the 1. So, when you say anything can happen, it's true to an extent. We should be able to do this on this team. Steve, you mentioned the rivalry. To me, having been there, and sorry, I'm going all old guy right off the bat here. The Cowboys were always a rivalry to me in the 70s, but we beat their ass in the frickin' NFC Championship 2-0 against them in the playoffs. The Giants, that's our rivals. And they're a fucking dumpster fire, too. Isn't this a glorious year?
Isn't it just?
Look, right now, we don't have a rival. There is no rivals with us because we've been basically at the basement for so many years.
We just swept
no other team in this division considers us a rival at all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of that, Steve? You agree?
Yeah, Jesse's right. I kind of alluded to that early on. Like, we were bad for so long, and now we can finally run with the big boys, and people are like, I'm good, man. We already been through this. We had our shellacking of you, but it's not fair, man. Let us have our time. And I'm with you, John. Like, I want to beat the brakes off these kids. Like,
oh yeah,
4th down and 1, go for that shit. Just pummel them into the ground like we've been doing all year. I want to see weeks 2 through 9 Commanders just at every opportunity make it like the Panthers game. That's what I want to see. Something like that.
I want to see a Dexter Manley versus Danny White play. All right, now I know I'm going old guy here, but this is the big freaking old rivalry, right? Whereas in Dexter Manley ran off sides, and Danny White, of course, didn't do anything. He stood up from behind center, and Dexter didn't stop and cleaned his fucking clock. Everybody's blowing whistles and shit. I want to see Johnny Newton just stand up at the line of scrimmage and smack Cooper Rush right in the face the first time he gets up there under center, and just, we'll take the 15 yards. Just slap him right in the goddamn head. That's the way I feel about it.
I'm down.
So, all right, how do we feel about it, though? Is it all right, well, let's look at it on the Trapometer. We have the Trapometer. It's obvious what the Trapometer is. Scott, where do you put us on the Trapometer here?
A 2 out of 10 at best.
Yeah?
Not at all. Yeah, this is, honestly, if we, I will be seriously disappointed if we do not put 30 against this team. What are we doing? They're the worst team against the run in the entire league. They've put 30 points. They've lost the last 5. They've lost by 30 points pretty much every game. Every game.
We can pause and have a laugh at that for a minute.
I mean, I would call that the definition of a trap game. If we go in this game thinking that we're going to, win big.
We said the Panthers was a trap game, Jesse, and look what happened there. This is not a trap game. This is not a trap game. Trust me, this is an absolute blowout win for the Commanders. And if I'm sitting here at what we're going to be, like maybe 9:20 on a Sunday night going, holy fuck, what's just happened there? We've lost. I'm going to be fuming. John saw me against the Steelers live. He knew what I was like after that. I'm going to be absolutely seething if we lose this game. Honestly,
I don't want to really give much away, but in this country, Scott would have been arrested for what he was saying to his kids. It's a good thing he's over there in tolerable Europe.
I love the kids.
Of course you do. Till the Steelers complete a pass to Mickey Mouse. So where are you on the Trapometer, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Scott. I don't think this is as trappy as you think it would. The Giants game, however, to me that was lined up to be both were lined up to be very good opportunities for trap games. This one, I think this one is, good teams do routine things routinely, and this should be a routine win. I don't think there's a lot of risk. If the scale is 1 to 10, 1 to 2 tops. There's no reason at all. When you look at the injury report, they're down Zach Martin, who's going to be huge. CeeDee Lamb was questionable. The other guard, I forget his name, whatever his name is. Not Zach
Joe
Martin.
Schmo, I think his name was.
Tyler Guyton or something. He was injured too.
Guyton,
so there's things happening. They might almost be in tank mode too. So we'll see.
Okay.
No risk of a trap in my eyes at all.
All right. Well, so we'll take it over to.
It's hopeless. We'll never make it. Never. We're done for.
Jesse, I'm going to give the over/under on your Trapometer at 7.
Yeah, I'd take the over. I'd take the over on that.
Drive 1, there's going to be like 4 voice notes saying, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done, I'm going home.
I think this is the definition of a trap game, even though a trap game is you got no, what was it, about 5-6 years ago, Colt McCoy was the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
And the Dallas was flying high, and we went in there and beat them with the backup quarterback.
Sure. They've done that to us too. I'm an old guy. I go back to Clinton Longley, you old fuckers.
So
Thanksgiving.
even though I think we should beat them by double digits, we should beat them. Mm-hmm. Doesn't always work out like that. Any given Sunday. Look what the Browns did to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody in the world bet on the Browns. No,
very true. Very true.
But you know what? I kept looking at that game last night, and when it came time for me to finally decide whether I wanted to bet anything on it, I said no, because you never know.
The snow was the equalizer, man. The snow was the equalizer.
The snow globe game, they're calling that. But that was good.
Jameis puts together a gem, and then he'll follow it next week. Jameis will lay a dog shit out there.
Love
and you
that
watch.
dude, though.
I know he's
great. He's great.
He is. His post game. I mean, anytime he's on camera, man, he just makes me laugh. I think he actually truly just enjoys going through life.
Yeah, so genuine. So genuine.
All right, where were we? We were on the Trapometer. Jesse, I kind of agree, except for one thing. I mean, yeah, by the definition, it could be that, a team that's overlooking another team gets trapped. But in this case, I think what we have, first off, is time to prepare and a coaching staff that's coming right off of that team. They, would love to go back in there and beat the shit out of them. Players that are coming from that team, I don't think that they're not going to focus on going in there and win. Whether the Cowboys are bad or not, I think they want to go in there and rub it in Jerry's face and just say, fuck you, your stadium's falling apart. So, and,
That's right.
Dak will be on the sidelines cheering them on. So,
We
fucking suck. They fucking do. And I'm tempting the devil here because I talk shit, and what happens? They don't back me up.
It's true.
So, you know what that all means. I'm not going to play any more videos.
We got a hell of a ref crew.
We do. Week. All right, so then we got to do some Commanders Recon here. Yeah. Jesse's moving the show along, and I got to find my goddamn video. Steve, am I the worst podcast host? Probably.
No. Seen worse.
Really?
He's watched our show, John. So yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite. All right, so we got Commanders Recon coming up. In case you haven't noticed, Steve, we're trying to act like more of a professional show and not play any fart noises or anything like that. So the Commanders Recon, who's our officials this weekend?
We have Trey Blake, and he is a master at throwing the flags. I mean,
they all are.
He's got 122 on the season, so yeah, that's a lot.
10 a week. Well, that's not too bad.
No, it's not. He's averaging more than that. I mean, week 1, Buffalo, Arizona, 14. Week 2, 14. Week 3, 12. Week 4, 18 fucking flags.
Who's in that game, though?
Houston and Jacksonville.
Jacksonville probably had 15 thrown on themselves.
But
Jacksonville was probably lining up backwards and shit.
When you get 2 shit teams, Carolina and Chicago, they only threw 9. So he threw 15 against L.A. and Minnesota,
15.
12 against Miami. They only threw 7 last week. You get the Jets and Indy. So it looks like when bad teams are playing, they don't throw. I guess they feel sorry for the teams. They just don't throw a lot of flags.
I'll tell you one thing though, with having the crew that throws a lot of flags, at least Noah Brown will get a pass interference call.
That's true.
Yes, he will. And he got a ghost pass interference last time.
He did.
But the last referee crew, we felt the same way, that they were going to throw a lot of flags, and they threw 10, but they were equal 5-on-5. So, I mean, how much do you give credence to the referees there, Steve? You ever worry about them so much?
It depends.
Crews that give you the willies?
Yeah, I'm not good with the referees' names. There's just some where you're like, oh shit, these guys hate us. There is a particular crew in general. You guys probably know better than I do. That just have screwed us over many a time. And
Clete Blakeman, he's a fucking flag thrower.
The name escapes me, but
anyone named Hockley. And Billy Hockley, I know
Where's
you're
the beach? They're
I
massive muscles, both of them.
That's right. There's another one out there who seems to only work on his triceps. He holds his arm out and his fucking tricep goes down. It looks like Aunt Tilda's fucking thing that she's got on the end of her arm there. All right, so our officials, are we pleased with this crew? Or are we worried about this crew? Or they think that we're going to throw more flags?
I think there's going to be a lot of laundry on the ground.
A lot of laundry on the ground. Okay, well, what's the weather going to be like?
It's about 58 degrees. Kickoff is probably going to be about 50, and then the high will be up about 58.
Perfect.
And it's nice and sunny, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds.
Okay, that's perfect. What's the relative humidity, if you don't mind?
Fuck if I know.
All right, do we have anything else?
Wind chill factor and UV rays next. What are you talking
Well, no, we'll get
What's
to that.
What's the pollen count like, Jesse?
That's our next segment. It's the pollen count.
Tailwind coming in from the east.
That's right.
Exactly, yeah.
That's right. Well, if Deshaun Foster was more than Deshaun Foster, boy, am I pulling one down to my ass there. So forget it. We're just going to move right along away from that because as we all know. I really don't know what the fuck happened there. I just said Deshaun Foster, and he was the running back that ran that great run in the Super Bowl for the Carolina Panthers. Am I correct or not?
Deshaun Foster?
He did. No. He had a really great touchdown run in the Super Bowl for the Panthers.
For the Texans?
Deshaun,
no, that was
Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Yeah.
Arian Foster, who was very famously quite candid about his coach paying him when he was in college. So, Arian Foster's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm all over the road here, as usual, because I am the world's worst podcast host. What's our injury report? Somebody got that up in front of them there?
Sure do, in just about 2 seconds. We're getting relatively better than what we were, against the Eagles and Pittsburgh. The only one that is definitely out is Marshawn Lattimore, and we'll get to him more later. Yeah. But Nick Bellore, he practiced full today, so that's good for special teams, but he is listed as questionable. Javonte Jean-Baptiste looks like he's going to be coming back from IR, so that's good. And the Austin, the main man, Siebert, looks like he's full to go and will be. He's listed as questionable, but I think Quinn went out and said he was going to play.
Quinn said what he always says. He is trending towards possible, which is great. Go ahead, say it as fucking ambiguously as you want.
Farrell says that he was limited, but he doesn't have a designation on the game, so I guess he's playing, and everybody else is pretty good.
All right. That sounds good. What about the Cowboys? How bad
now,
are they
on the other side of the ball is a little bit different story.
Steve, did you want to have a comment on that? I saw you starting to make a move there.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Jump right on in, man. I'm the world's worst podcast host. I'll forget to throw it to you.
Safety Marquise Bell, Jake Ferguson is out, and
yeah, that's good.
Zach Martin is doubtful.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not playing.
So, yeah, he's probably not playing. Deron Bland is going to be his first game back. There was a lot of hubbub around CeeDee Lamb this week because he didn't practice. He was limited one day, didn't practice the next day, but it looks like he's going to give it a go. So that's one of their major weapons. Brandon Cooks looks like he's going to be back for this is his first game back after being on IR. So there's.
How do we feel about him? I'm always of the thinking that Brandon Cooks is that guy that can just upend your ass because he's got the talent. He can do it.
And he has before, time and time again. Not necessarily us, but
right.
Every team that he's been on, he always has good games here and there. And, our cornerback room isn't great.
Right. How you feel about that, Steve?
I mean, Brandon Cooks is one of those. I feel like he's like 45 years old. He's been on so many teams.
Right.
But, excuse me. I don't think he's as old as people think he is. He's just been on a lot of teams. I mean, I know he was on the Saints with Drew Brees. He went to the Texans. I don't even know.
It was like he's been on like a team like every year.
He's been
until he got to Dallas.
He's been in the league for 10 years. So I feel like it's been longer.
10 years? That's a long time. But, I agree. He does feel like he's been around forever. And you're right. He's been around everywhere. And it was always one of those questions because he had talent.
Yeah.
He has talent. And it's like, why can't he stick somewhere? He's got to be just a royal asshole. Scott, you being an English person, you know about royalty. Would you agree that Brandon Cooks is just a royal fucking asshole?
No, I wouldn't. No, I do think he's an asshole, but not a royal asshole. No, I like the Royals.
His breath really just smells like shit.
It does? All right, well, then I'm going to call it. We're going to go ahead and give Brandon. Fuck it. We'll just give him the dick of the week.
Fair enough.
We had to give it to somebody. All right. All right, we were on the injury report there. Scott, do you have anything that you're worried about on the injury report?
No, I just think it's interesting that the previous injury report we had going into the Steelers game in the Eagles game was that our centre Biadish was so beat up with 3 different injuries, and now he's had 10 days off, and suddenly he's got nothing. And it's like, okay. I mean, fair enough. If you're healthy, you're healthy. Right. Do you know what I mean? I get that. But to go from having a rib, a back, and a shoulder to having no injury designation whatsoever, fair play. CeeDee Lamb had a back and a foot, which is quite interesting. That's the big one for me. If he's in any way, shape, or form hurting, then that's what you've got to target. And like we said at the start of the show, John, it's Cowboys team's done for the season. They're trending towards top 3-4 picks. Maybe even the number 1 overall pick if they lose out. But it's who knows, man? Who knows? When you're coming off 5 straight losses, going into probably going to be 6 losses, it's what do they do? I'm not worried about who's on their injury report. It's good that Zach Martin's not there, who is one of their key players, and that's about it. Really, doesn't really bother me.
So, do you think that they feel like they want to be spoilers, or do you get that kind of vibe from them, or are they just packed it in?
I think they've just genuinely packed it in. McCarthy's done at the end of the season. He's not got a contract, so
this is the question.
I don't know. I don't know if Jerry's going to renew him, but all right, they'll be moving on.
All right, I'm going to throw a question to everybody. I'm going to start with Jesse. Jesse, can we get Mike fired? Can we get McCarthy fired?
No, I think Jerry's going to keep him for the rest of the season, then let him go. His contract's up at the end of the year, so
it's done.
Yeah.
Steve, you think we can get him fired by the end of the day?
Atrophy. Jerry's stubborn. Like, even though we probably could get it, like after the game, we could beat him so bad. You'd be like, man, you need to fire these guys. He won't. Jerry won't. It serves no point. He'll let him naturally atrophy off. And what's funny? Mike McCarthy, first season at the Cowboys was rough. I forget what it was. 7-6-10, whatever. I think it was a 16-game season. Then the dude went 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. First round exits, whatever, and then here we are. He hasn't done that bad, but they had such a talented roster, man. You should be better.
I think
so. So yeah, he'll be done at the end of the season. I don't think he'll get fired.
Well, I tend to agree. Although it would be nice if we beat him by like 37, and Jerry just got fed up and said, "You're not even getting on the goddamn bus."
Yeah, if he dies, man. That'd have been fantastic.
The fun thing is that why Jerry, I know, keeps him on the team a lot, because when you're on the team bus and you're heading into a stadium like FedEx Field, Northwest Stadium, when you're trying to make those exits on the Beltway, Mike McCarthy can watch for traffic over here, and he can keep his eye on the exit over here, and that way he can see both of them, and they can get there much faster. I don't know how he doesn't run into things whenever he walks around. I really
could get fired next week. I mean, if they lose to Tommy DeVito,
forget about it.
This is the best way that they have found to get people to gather around the table for Thanksgiving rather than picking up a plate and going to sit down and watching the football.
Yeah, I mean, the best games, the Dolphins and the Packers.
Yeah. I mean, Scott G's right though. He's saying he won't get fired on a short week. Yeah, I agree with that. You're probably not gonna do it now. I mean, why is Doug Peterson still in charge at the Jacksonville? Do you know what I mean? It's like, hang on a minute.
Khan doesn't have any. I mean, dude, you got to talk about a bad owner. That dude's more interested in his mustache wax than he is in the football team.
He's more interested about bringing Jacksonville over to Scotty's area.
No, I don't think so. I think because they signed that deal with the new stadium, I think they're going to stay right where they are, Steve, which is an interesting one.
Yeah,
they're building a brand new or renovating the current stadium to about $3.1 billion worth of revenue. It's going to be quite a significant investment. So when you look at it that way, I don't think they're going to be the franchise. Everyone's still talking about over this side of the pond, saying they are going to be the franchise, but nah, not for me. My wife can stay with the Jags, but not for me.
If you're Seattle and you got to go to London, I guess you'd go over the pole, and I don't know how long it would be that way. You'd have to.
You got to come east and then keep going east.
You go north.
Yeah.
You go north. Yeah.
You go over the top. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to go over China.
I was tripping out because I was looking at the flight path when I was coming into fucking France, and I was coming down through Greenland, coming south through Greenland.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
That's all normal. That's the normal path.
Well, I mean, this fucking planet's flat, right? That's what I've been told. How the fuck?
If you really talk to Tyler Owens, he'll tell you all about that, I'm sure.
That's right. There's a man who's disappeared. Has he been active lately? Have we seen him at all?
No, not at all. He's not there. No.
That's all right. He's a rookie. He can be inactive for a while. All right, so let's get to the other.
That's one pissed off elephant.
I still love the bike at the end. He's just like, F your bike.
With his asshole out in the air. There.
My bike now, punk.
Fuck your bike. Jesse's been saying for weeks that Jaden Daniels has never played a cold weather game, and now he's got this thing where he's wrapping his ribs for warmth. So, before we get to Jesse, because I know he's been itching to go off on this, Steve, we'll start with you. Is there anything to this as to why he's not playing well?
Well, first off, with the rib thing, it's I'm a lifelong baseball player, other sports too, but baseball, main sport. And as a pitcher, you always put your arm in a sleeve even in hot weather. You put your arm in a sleeve in the dugout to keep your muscles warm. It stays loose. You get cold, you get tight. So I kind of chalked it up to that. And I heard I don't know if it was on the Junkies or Granddaddy. They were kind of saying the same thing about someone was going to go back and look at all of his college tape, and I think there was like one time he had to play in cold weather, even in college.
This guy looked at all. He did. He went back and so
he's never played anything under 40-degree weather.
Yeah, there might be something to that. I don't know, but last week he did look off. Had a couple balls in the dirt. He just was not looking like the accurate quarterback we've seen in a while. So you can chalk it up to his ribs, or you can chalk it up to the cold weather. I don't. If anything, I would probably lean more towards the ribs. That he's not as healthy as we think, because he's an accurate dude. Football players, they figure it out, man. They figure it out. Miami can play in the cold weather up in New England. They figure it out. So it might just be the ribs, or Philly just disrupted him so much. I don't know.
For me, I don't even think it was like it was a cold weather, during the Eagles game, because it really wasn't that cold.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
So I'm just what I'm concerned about is
balaclava.
He for one, he hasn't played anything below 32 degrees. When it was 60 or it was 57 degrees, he had a balaclava on. All right, and he doesn't have a whole bunch of meat on his bones to help, keep his internal temperature up when it's cooler outside. And, I'm just giving examples. Guys at my work, okay, we work outside, and we have guys and skinny guys, and I'm not bullshitting this at all. They slow down when it's cold outside because they can't fucking move. They can't work as fast and as efficient as they can when their body's warm. So I'm wondering if that's going to be an issue.
Skinny guys
when someone's wearing a balaclava,
what do you think of that?
When it's 56 degrees outside, man.
Yeah, but so does
it's
Lamar
gotta give you a fucking.
I think that one's probably a little more fashion statement than actually.
Well, then someone needs to teach him something about fashion, because it looks stupid.
You look stupid.
Come on, it's not a Vogue magazine, Jesse. I mean, this is what the kids do these days. They're all wearing them shiesties, whatever they're called these days. I don't know, but I understand where you're coming from. I still think it's soreness. I think that he's not injured, and I just think it's general soreness for his ribs. And as you said, Steve, you know it from other sports as a pitcher. That's what you do. Whenever you play rugby, you go and make sure you've got some sort of heat into your calves and into your thighs to make sure that you can take a tackle when you're playing rugby union. Same thing with Jaden. He just probably needs that wrap to make sure he's loose, because he is still suffering from soreness. If you're getting hit with the crown of the helmet in your ribs when you're taking a sack, it's gonna keep hurting over time. These injuries take time to heal completely, but he can put it all to bed this weekend. He can put it all to bed by just having a game and going, hey, you know what, I'm throwing the ball, and if he plays well, then this disappears. This disappears.
It should. I've been of the thinking that they say, oh, well, he's not been on the injury report. Well, okay, yeah, because there's no designation left. You can't just put down it hurts as your designation. And like you said, Steve, you play other sports. Everybody here's played sports. If you've ever hurt your ribs in any way, especially if it's just a little pull, just the tiniest little thing, when you're throwing a ball, everything, these muscles come into play. Man, there's time. I hate to say it. I hurt my back. The worst I ever hurt my back in all the sports I ever played was getting out of my fucking car because I turned it the wrong way, and it's so much pain, not so much that there's anything wrong with it, but you use these muscles in so many different ways that you don't even realize it until it hurts. So, what's Quinn going to do? Put down, it hurts. I think two things. Number one, I think it hurt, and keeping it warm is smart, for one. And, there's part of what Jesse's saying has some validity to that, and that's why they keep it warm while it hurts. And number two, I honestly think that Vic Fangio and Mike Tomlin said, this is a rookie, and they did things to him that caused him to have bad throws. He was constantly backpedaling.
That's what I'm chalking up the Eagles game. You know, I mean, but you can't really on the Pittsburgh game because Jaden was pretty much on point. Our receivers just fucking dropped a lot of fucking passes.
You're
know?
right. A lot of them hit him right in the hands. So
but I think the Eagles game kind of got to him a little bit. And I mean, when you pull a muscle, what do? You put a heating pad on it.
Right.
You know, your back goes out. And there's definite truth to that. And I'm just, like I said, dude is a bag of bones. And anybody telling you different is just, they don't know what they're fucking looking at because he's small.
You are getting some fire in the chat here. Timothy's the same.
Scott
G's the same. And it's like, man,
not everybody handles the cold the same fucking way.
That's true.
I get that.
You know,
I don't like the cold.
it does. But Kyler has a lot more fucking meat on his bones than Jaden does.
What Kyler does is he gets down amongst the grass blades and he hunkers down with all the other little rodents, and he warms up like that.
Hey guys,
tiny little fella.
Did you guys? I don't know who posted it, but one of the media guys. But Jaden throwing into the net yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and he had some zip. He had some velocity.
Yes.
He was winding up and throwing. It looked like he's fine health wise from the ribs. So I don't know.
I agree. I as a matter of fact, I know exactly which clip you're talking about, and it caught my eye as I was scrolling by because of the angle of it, and you could see that zip on the ball. You could see how it was traveling. And, man, I was impressed with that. So, we like to get impressed with 4-second practice videos.
Yes,
but I think you're right. It does show. Because if there's pain there, you're going to wince. If you're still feeling it, you're going to wince. And if you remember, when he originally got hurt, he didn't come off the field like all in pain or anything like that. He went over, tried to throw, and it didn't work out. And it hurt so much that he managed to throw his helmet on the ground in disgust. So it's an owie, and owies can stick around for a while. Let's see. Where are we on our list of things to talk about? Let's
uniforms.
Our uniforms. Are we on uniforms? What
Ketchup.
uniforms are we wearing? We're wearing all red.
The French fries. The French fries. We're wearing the fucking French fries. The fucking ugliest uniforms.
Good.
God, I hate the fucking gold pants.
The gold pants.
You
I think
hate the
look
gold
good.
pants.
I hate the gold pants.
Steve, where do you fall on the gold pants?
So I didn't. They never appealed to me before. They were like the ugly yellow mustard. But this year, man, they're slowly coming around.
Today's Friday, brought to you by
Steve. Stop, man. Come on. Don't do this to me. Just think about this. Think about French fries. Think about two French fries dipped in ketchup. That's fucking what they are on the field. Their legs are French fries.
The Washington Redskins, which is what they look like from 1972 when they won the Super Bowl. They need a stripe on those pants. Or they didn't win the Super Bowl in 1972. They went to the Super Bowl, their first Super Bowl. But I personally, my favorite uniform combination is the white shirt and the burgundy pants. But that's just me. Scott, what do you think?
I think they're ugly.
I'm not keen on the burgundy and burgundy, but then again, I do prefer the burgundy and gold because that's traditionally what we've always been.
But it's
so
not.
It looks good. I think it does.
They had it for a couple, like the Allen years.
What would you?
That was when we first got good.
White pants with a burgundy top.
That's better than the gold pants. I wish we went.
I still think that away
the
uniform.
burgundy pants, white top, is the best. Redskin.
Mm-hmm.
Scott G also walks around in a gas mask and a jock strap, but that's only because
I was going to say at the same time, Scott G, that's probably why you look so weathered, mate. But there you go, it is what it is. That fucking Windsor killer, son. His paper round was all uphill, wasn't it?
On the fact that he might have a little bit more meat on his bones than old Jaden Daniels does too.
Our buddy Scouse,
Exactly,
Scouse bounces in and says, "Does anybody know the uniform?" No.
You sound just like him, by the way.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think what we ought to do is, Andy, I got an idea for you. We're going to market the Scouse in the house. So where you can have something on your counter like an Alexa, but when you talk to it, it doesn't fucking speak back to you in any way you can understand. You say, Alexa, you say, Scouse in the house. I need some aluminum foil. Put it on the list, and the Scouse in the house goes, and you don't.
I thought you were going with the Elf on the Shelf theme, like Scouse on the Shelf or something.
No, you don't want a Scouse on your shelf. My God,
that
Scouse in the house.
That demonic thing.
I'm just looking at you.
That's an idea. There's an idea. The Scouse in the house.
Scouse on the shelf. God, that's scary.
Copyright.
Anyway, that's a good Halloween decoration.
Scouse in the house.
Yeah, right. Scouse, it's over now. Take your mask off, lad. But there you go, anyway.
All right, so let me see here. Let me get back to what we're talking about, because this is a serious
Look
podcast.
who's talking.
That's right. My accent is horrible, man. All right, so here we go. We're going to go to Lattimore or Lattiless. All right, so when it comes to the panic meter...
That's pretty good, Lala.
Where are we on the panic meter here with Lattimore? All right, I'll start with you, Scotty. 1 to 10, where are you feeling right now with Lattimore? I'm not even going to say panic, but how about panic, disgust, disappointment, the whole litany of bleh.
If you're going to go through it all, disappointment and stuff, I'd say a 6, because I ideally wanted him to play against the Eagles. You know, it's about going against these big receivers that people have got. You know, the CeeDee Lambs of the world, the A.J. Browns, that's who you brought him in to be. Am I panicked about it? No, not at all. In reality, again, it's probably a 2 on the scale of, like, you know, am I bothered about it? No, not particularly. Would I want an extra corner who's exceptional? Yes, absolutely I would. But I'm not. I don't care if he's not back till after the bye week for me. What this is 2 routine games.
You can't look at that well.
I'm not going to say that each game, we're fans, I know, but each game is different. It's the NFL, any given Sunday, all that. But on the schedule, when you look at that schedule, you would say these are 2 routine games. So why, if you brought him in to go on a playoff run, which is clearly why they brought him in,
right,
then you wait until he's 100% fit. And if he's not 100% fit, don't put him out there. And I don't mind if we've got a bye week and we've got the time after the Tennessee game, then that's fine. 3 weeks away. I'm fine with that.
All right. Steve, where are you on the
Yeah, similar. I'm fine. We don't need him this week. We haven't had him. So how can you miss something that you've never had?
I'll tell you why. Because of Professor Abner Wu's Benjamin St. Juice Roaster Toaster, we do not need him out on the field because he's perfectly roasted and completely toasted almost every time. Last week was obviously
it was a big exception last week, and give him his flowers. Played really well.
I did not curse his name one time last week.
We didn't even hear it,
which is pretty rare.
So I didn't mean to bust your point.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying. I'm not too worried. It'd be nice just to bring him back for the Saints game. You know, I think maybe that's what they're gearing up towards. So, yeah, I'm not mad for something you never had. You know, like all the money that goes to taxes. So
that's right.
I
mean, you know, I tell you what, I've never fucked Selma Hayek, but I am kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah, I can see that point.
I mean, you know,
I'm with you. I am kind of mad too. Damn it!
Fuck, I've sent her email after email. You know, god damn it.
All right, there's laws against that. There's laws against that, John. Yeah.
That's what they've told me.
That's a stalker.
That's
I'm still annoyed that Jimmy Savile never answered my letter when I was a kid. But there you go. That's a different story.
That is a different story. That story brought to you, of course, by Abner Wu Cosmetics. All right, so Jesse, where are you on the disappointment, panico, whatever meter? For
minus 10, none whatsoever. I think absolutely right about having him when he's 100% fit, and we need him for the stretch run. And
aren't we in the stretch run? Are we in the stretch run?
I think that's probably after the after the bye week and into the playoffs. That's what we got him for.
All right, I'm a bit different. My stress-o-meter on him is about at a 6, probably maybe a 7, because I think we are in the stretch run. Those slurs brought to you by Kettle One Vodka. Listen, we're now the 7th seed in the NFC, where we were the 3rd or the 2nd, like 2 weeks ago.
Second at one stage, but just
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. All right, so we lost one game to the Steelers, and we dropped down to 6. We lost to the Eagles again. We dropped down to the 7th. We're on the verge of getting booted out of the playoffs.
5 games left after this week.
5 games that will be favored in all but one.
Yeah. I guess that's fine. Favored is one thing. Winning them is a wholly different situation. I do have some PTSD. You know, I've seen it happen before. I mean, you know, here, I'll pull up this old avatar, and we'll have some fun with it because – God dang it! I was 7-1 and went to 8-8. God dang! I don't know what the hell happened there, but something did. So I we're this close to getting yanked out, whereas before we were this close, it was almost a guarantee that we were going.
We're still like 2 games ahead of anybody that's close.
2 games ahead of everyone in the wild card, John. So I'm not worried about that at all. Right. And I think that you've also got to think if some of these teams' records are beat up and are pumped up.
Look what happened last night.
The Cardinals are the same. Look at what if you look at what it's like statistically, percentage-wise, we've got an 87% chance of making the playoffs right now.
I got to tell you, that and a quarter won't buy you jack shit anymore because nothing costs a quarter. You know,
we need 3 games in the playoffs.
Right.
3 games. That's it.
You know, we're.
But a 10-7 will be disappointing after starting off 7-2.
It would be, and I mean, I'm just going to keep saying half sentences. But you know, but and we'll move along. All right, so
trying to cut him off like he does.
No, you go right ahead, cut me off, because otherwise, I'm kind of done on the subject. That's really all there is to say on it, as far as I'm concerned. We've got Mike Davis. Is that his name? Mike Davis?
Oh,
yeah. He's away on a personal reason this week. He's out.
Well, he can stay away.
He's been away the whole season anyway.
Did you see him in the home opener, John, against Malik Neighbors?
I did. His personal reason is he's home going, do I think?
I think I shared with you that. I think I shared with that meme that had.
I can't cover anybody. I'm having a crisis.
So, I think I shared with you that meme that had Sam Still with the lady in the pool, and it was like Commanders fans are holding Sam Still up, and then next to it was a kid who was almost drowning. It had Benjamin St. Juice, and then under the sea at the bottom was a bag of bones that said Forbes.
The thing about it is that was completely accurate anyway, because
it's true. Forbes is done, man. Forbes is done.
No, he's a bag of bones.
No, that's true. Yeah, but he is done as well, I think.
He is a bag of bones. All right, so let's see. I guess we got on the list here that we're going to talk to Jerry Jones.
Oh.
So
we give him a call, John, and we'll see what he's doing.
You know, I'll tell you what I am. Here's what I am. I'm done with the pretense of trying to pretend we're actually calling Jerry Jones. So I'm just going to stop my camera and make it look like it. All right. God dang it! Hello,
Jerry.
Yes, sir. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing all right. The question is, how are you doing? You got some stuff going on in Dallas now.
Well, you know, I got to tell you something. The best thing about Dallas is that there's more strip clubs per square mile than anywhere else on goddamn continental United States. And that keeps old Jerry going, because if there's anything that an 83-year-old man loves more than just about anything except maybe winning a Super Bowl, is a pocket full of goddamn $5 bills and some Viagra. And let me tell you, I can forget a lot of losses from a lot of laps, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Hey, we got a couple questions for you.
All right, let's hear them. That's why I'm goddamn here on this podcast.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Jerry.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
You know, you're a tycoon. You've been known to mix business with pleasure.
Tell you something. I've mixed a lot of things there, Steve.
What's more fun, running the Dallas Cowboys or micromanaging the coaching staff of the Dallas Cowboys?
The whole goddamn thing is fun. Let me tell you something. I can sit back there in the stands, and I can tell everybody around me how big the dick is of that guy that just made a sack. And then I can call down to McCarthy and say, get Big Dick out of the game right there. Put a little dick feller in there so I can make my friends feel even better. And listen, I love micromanaging every aspect of it. If there's one thing I like about being a big, rich tycoon, billionaire, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, is it gets me so much goddamn poontang, I don't even know what to do with half of it half the time. That's why I got me a big old ship, because I got a whole hold full of them out there 3 miles off the coast. And then really what you do out there doesn't make any difference to anybody. But I think I'm speaking a little too much.
So, Jerry, I've got one more question for you. So, in the off-season, what's your first move? Do you get on your helicopter, fly out on the yacht, and get yourself out into the sea there and sail off into the sunset with some vodka and some tequila? Or do you take a trip to Thailand? What's your preference?
Well, the first thing I have to do every off-season is I have to go down to Brazil, and they've got a concoction that it takes almost a whole year to make it for me. It's got all kinds of virgin blood in it and a couple of ears from some little children that have never even seen the sun from far as I'm. And that keeps me feeling nice and firm and fit. And then after I do that, well, then goddamn right, it's off to Thailand. Winner's
Got to
pleasure.
be careful out there. Got to be careful out there, John.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference.
Jerry, what
Jerry.
what are you doing about the sheet metal that fell from the ceiling, the roof?
Now that is a concern. I got to tell you, that right there is something that I've got to look into because I paid good goddamn money for somebody to drop something on Dak Prescott's head, and they goddamn missed him. That was supposed to get me out of a contract that I should never have signed. He got me all high on tequila and frickin' LSD, and before I knew it, what did I sign? I did what? And, well, that's why we need the laws in this country changed to be more in favor of us billionaires to be able to get out of shit that we do while we're all stoned. And that's all I'm going to say about the matter right there.
That's right, Jerry.
What was worse? A piece of sheet metal almost decapitating some poor soul in a Jerry world, or the railing falling down in FedEx Field?
Well, for one, it was definitely the railing falling down because we'll see what happened to Dan Snyder. He's out of the league right now. He's hiding out somewhere over in the goddamn south of France, so fuck him. Everything was his fault. The man was nothing but he had liked to have himself a little piss party. And that's all I'm going to say about the matter right there. The sheet metal falling down from the top of the stadium. Well, I got to say, that's what you get when you hire the goddamn illegals. And it's all Joe Biden's fault that this thing fell off the ceiling. And there's if he'd have closed the border like he was supposed to do, this would have never happened. So if everybody wants to get together and blame Joe Biden for it, I ain't going to complain.
There's a question in our chat here, Jerry, for you. It says, does Eli Manning make the Hall of Fame?
Oh, my God. I got to tell you something. If Eli Manning makes the Hall of Fame, I think you ought to put Dak in because Dak has been just as disappointing. And even though Dak hasn't won 2 big football games, he has surely made my life difficult. And anything that I can do to take the shame away from me giving that man all that goddamn money would help me out considerably. And I think that the outrage that would be raised among intelligent football fans about the inclusion of Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame would be enough to be able to fix my hide and get me out of the way of some public scrutiny.
Hey, Jerry, I got one for you. So,
Yes,
let's be honest here. You're the king of the castle in Dallas. You're the owner. You're
right.
the GM.
That's
you're
right.
I'm
the big dick in the family.
Probably the star. You're everything. But let's
That's
be
right.
honest. The biggest off seasons is what's the priority for you? Is the biggest
This offseason?
off-season expense signing players or paying off your extensive non-disclosure agreement collection? Because it's looking like a toss-up right now. Seeing what I've seen in the news lately.
Listen, I got a lot of bills to pay off just from fucking Zeke Elliott's goddamn food. Listen, that's going to cost me enough right there. That man's been eating me out of house and home. But I think that this offseason, my biggest priority, if you want to use a word such as priority, is to stay alive for next season. 'Cause Jesus Christ. I'm getting up there, man. And, there's sometimes I get up in the morning and my chest hurts and I go, oh, God, this ain't it, is it? And then I realize, no, I just got some cheerleader sleeping on it. And I throw her ass off of there and then we get about our day. But that really is the biggest thing that's on my mind right now is getting through this season, tanking for whatever we can get. I'm going to tell you something. If I hired that Daniel Jones boy and put him out there on Thanksgiving to play against that Danny DeVito, that would be some goddamn circus level shit right there, wouldn't it?
Is there a scenario where you fire Mike McCarthy, hire Deion Sanders, and draft Shador Sanders all in the offseason, Jerry? Let me know, Jerry. Let me know.
I think there's definitely something going on there, Steve. I think you're on to something. You've got a nose for money, and that's the way I like about it. And that sure as hell would bring in the dollars. I could start selling Shador Sanders goddamn T-shirts and jerseys right now in Dallas Cowboys shop. In fact, come on in right now with promo code Dion and get yourself 20% off any Dak Prescott crap that you want. And when I say 20% off, that means I'll give you $20 just to take it all away from it. Just get this shit out of here. I'm bringing Shador in here, and we're bringing Dion in here, and it's back to the goddamn Super Bowl, baby, because I'm looking for some glory hole.
All right, before we let you go, Jerry, big game this weekend coming to Washington. Are you bringing your heated seats?
I at my age, I got to bring my heated seats because otherwise my pals get to bothering me so much. And, at that stadium, Dan doesn't do much about keeping it cool or keeping it warm. So I'm definitely bringing my heated seat.
All right, who wins on Sunday?
Oh, I'd love to say that the Cowboys are going to win, but goddamn, I've made a living off of being right about things. And God damn it, there's no way I'd bet on my Dallas Cowboys. I don't even know the name of the man who's playing quarterback for us.
Well, we appreciate your time as always.
You're quite welcome. And let me tell you something. If I ever come across you in the glory hole, I will stand by the honor code. If you're there first, well, I'll give you what you need.
All right, be careful about them swirling Hernandez, as they can jump up on you real quick.
That's right, they can, and that reminds me right there. Captain Pablo, get the boat somewhere close where I can get me some Pornhub. All right,
wrap it up, Jerry. Pull out.
All right, that's enough of that. All right, yeah, that was a little overdone. That was fun, but what the hell. All right, so let's move on to battle plans here. I got a video for that, too. And being the world's worst podcast host. All right, we'll start with you, Jesse. What kind of things do the Commanders need to do to win this weekend?
I mean, not much.
Be disgusted?
Fucking run the ball.
Run the ball.
That's all they need to do, really, is run the fucking football, and they're going to win this game.
All right. What about you, Scott? Give me a battle plan.
Yeah, run the football. Second one to that is time of possession, as always. We haven't won the time of possession in the last 2 games. And then once we've done that, we can air the ball out. And receivers need to catch. That's it.
That's for sure. Excuse me.
Big book of football there.
Yep. I'm not going to say the same thing they did. To me, I think it's turnovers. If you watched the Cowboys and the Texans last week, every throw Cooper Rush made, you were like, oh, almost picked off.
Yeah,
I think we get 2 or 3 of those on Sunday, and I just said turn the ball over and then do what Jesse and Scotty said. It should be piece of cake.
I hope so. I'd love to see us. We need a game where we get a couple of turnovers like that, where we just take a bad team and thrash them like we're supposed to. And it's nice to be able to say that, even though we're only, 11 games into being able to say things like that. I think that the main battle plan for us this week is take CeeDee Lamb out of the game. Take him out of the game. They got nothing. So
put Mikey on him.
Put Mikey on him, send Chin over the top, and give him one right on the side of the chin there. Give him the old Sean Taylor on TO elbow, and take him out of the game. That's my battle plan for what we're going to have to do. All right, so, hey, man, that was quick. We managed to get through a segment just like that without a whole bunch of bullshit. I'm sure everybody's pleased with that we got through it with no bullshit. We got one more segment. It's called Man on a Mission. All my stupid video clips right in a row.
You're so proud of them.
Hey, man, fuck it. We need segments in the show, so, we got to have things that delineate them. So who's our man on a mission? Who's got to have a big game? Steve, we'll start with you. Who's going to have a big game?
To me, who has to have a big game or who's going to have a big game?
However you feel like you think it would work out best. Has to have what or will have?
I think Jaden will have a Jaden game like we seen earlier in the season. I think, I think he needs it to stop. I mean, not like we're fans. Like our opinion really doesn't matter, but it'll shut a lot of people up. You know? And then who will have? I think Brian Robinson will have a big game. I think he'll have a nice game himself.
When you talk about Jaden like that, I tell you, Bo Nix's name has been creeping up. Whereas 3 weeks ago, Jaden was the going away favorite for Rookie of the Year, but now you see Bo Nix's name is creeping up because of these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think Jaden would have to have multiple stinkers for that to really.
I remember when I was younger and I'd be in gym
be
class,
a
and
real
if I had multiple
conversation.
stinkers, I'd run ahead of everybody. You've all had that, right? When you're running, you get the flutters. Just every step that you take, like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, Scotty, what about you? Who's your man on the mission?
Yeah, my man on the mission is going to be Jeremy Chin. He needs to have another big game like he has done the last 4 weeks, just to solidify himself and make sure that we can keep that contract out. I think they were talking already about trying to sign him longer, and I hope that is the case. I really hope so, because he is. He's turned into a really good signing in this off season.
Who are you saying hi to over there?
Kim.
Hey,
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim. All right, so Jesse, who's your man on a mission this week?
I was going to say Robinson. I think he's going to have a really big game. They can't stop the run, but I'm going to go Mikey Sanders still. Take out Lamb. They can't run the ball. They haven't been able to run the ball all season long, so I think we should be able to shut down the run. And then you need to worry about CeeDee Lamb, and you take care of him. Who do they got? I mean, Brandon Cooks. We
were talking about him earlier, and he's capable, but I don't see Cooper Rush to Brandon Cooks being the combination that's going to beat us. Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Making sure I didn't cut anybody off. My man on a mission. I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm going to flip flop. It's Coleman and Wiley. You guys got to have a good game. Keep James clean.
I think the whole offensive line needs to have a good game. Listen, they've played two really good defensive fronts.
They have.
And they've been beaten up, and they just haven't had the best of games. But I think coming back, I mean, you got to account for Parsons. He's still flying around.
That's why I picked both of them, because he goes all over the damn place.
But I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence is playing. No, not DeMarcus Lawrence. But yeah, not DeMarcus Lawrence.
It's the yo-yo episode.
Yeah. So they haven't sacked. I think they're like 27th in sacks. So
I hate running off numbers like that, because every time
Fowler has more sacks than their entire team.
So there we go.
Well, that's a stat. That is a goddamn stat. All right, then. Let's get on to some predictions here. Steve, what do you think? Give me a score prediction.
I think I'm going to go with Commanders 34, Dallas 20. 34-20. I think that's what's feeling 34-20.
34-20. All right, Jesse,
Garbage
what
time.
about you?
I'm going to go 31-15.
15?
Yeah, I don't because their field goal kicker is really good. I mean, he just hit a 64
He's got to
yarder.
get out there for 5 tries.
He hit a 64 yarder last week. Aubrey, I think is his name. He's an excellent.
He's very good.
But I think we keep them out of the end zone. I don't think they score a touchdown on us. So that's all they got is some field goals. So 31-15.
All right, what about you, Scott?
35-9 Commanders.
9. 3 field goals.
So you
think Aubrey's good, but like 2 less good than Jesse does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm going 41-14.
Ooh, 2 TDs.
41-14. 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I think they'll get 2 touchdowns. I think that we're usually susceptible to 1 or 2, and they'll manage to get probably Brandon Cooks one-on-one with freaking Benjamin St. Just and
or they'll like
CeeDee Lamb
get St. Juice a PI on like the 5-yard line and
something like that. But I am not worried about freaking Rico Doodle beating us.
No.
Doodle.
Kim says 40-17. Timothy got us 34-10.
Power.
Yam has us 34-17. So I think we're pretty confident in this game. Hopefully we're all right.
Yeah, I hope so. That'll be good, because I'd like to come back and see some of this. That was us against the Giants. After the Giants game, it's been almost a month now since we've had a win.
Yeah.
So we definitely need something right there. Scott, do you have a list for us this week? Have you been falling down on the job?
I have been falling down on the job, John. I haven't got a list for us. But do you know when the last shutout was? When our last shutout was?
The Commanders' last shutout or the Washington?
91.
No idea.
Yep, 30th of September 1991 versus the Eagles.
Eagles?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I do
Scouts
know that
has
in the first
30-20. It was a close game, Scouts.
10 points, yeah.
Not bad. All right, so everybody's got us winning. So we are all in. This is us with the Cowboys. That's just disgusting. All right, so I mean, we could do that. I think that'll be the media on Monday when they're talking about Jaden again. They'll be all over him. All right, then. So, Steve, we can all find you on the Command This podcast. When do you guys come on?
We go live streams Monday and Thursday nights at 8:35 p.m. Pre-game Thursdays, post-game Mondays, and tune in for the laughs.
I do. I enjoy coming in there, man. Sometimes because you guys are late for me. I'm old.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's so late. I'm like getting in bed when y'all go on.
It's so late for us nowadays.
I fall asleep at my own show sometimes, so I'm with you guys.
No, I dig it, man. I have a good time.
When I have a day off on a Friday and Steve's on, I'll be on. And Steve will be like, how are you on? And I'm like, yeah, it's only 1:45 and it's only 12:45.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yeah, props to you guys over there.
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
Yeah, really. Those guys do put it up, man. But no, I do enjoy your show. I enjoy you guys.
Appreciate you.
There's a lot of good
Same.
vibes that go on over there with you and Dev. So, hey, man, let's get a win this Sunday. Let's hope. Jesse, you're falling down on the music here. I got to go find the music.
Oh, well, shit. I don't know where we're going. I got it.
Oh, I mean, unless you got someplace else you want to go with the show.
No.
I think we've touched on everything. Oh, there we go. So, hey, man. See Steve on Command This Podcast Mondays and Thursdays at 8:35. Is that what you said? 8:35?
Sir, 8:35.
So there we go. We are thanking Ted Turner for putting people in that kind of a mode. Thank you for that, TBS. We will be back Sunday afternoon right after the football game to discuss what happened. And Steve, if you want to come on, just give me a holler. I'll send you a link.
Will do.
Oh, yeah, man. Right after the game. I mean, take a piss and then you come on in. And we'll discuss whatever condition we're in after the game as to what we just saw. Then we are back on Monday at 5:30 for the Bleeding Burgundy podcast to go in depth as to what we just saw, and the 1 Point Safety Show Thursdays at 3 p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. Hot damn. I got through all of that very well. I think that my goddamn...
We've got a show tomorrow as well, John.
Oh, that's right. We've got one tomorrow. Now I'm still the world's worst podcast host. We've got one tomorrow where we're going to pick some NFL football games and make some bets. And Steve, if you want to come on for that, if you'd like, we'll be happy to have you. I always like when Steve comes on, dude, because you got a great sense of humor. So, man, that's always fun. But tomorrow afternoon, probably between 2 and 4 sometime, we'll stop on through. We'll make some picks and make some bad bets, and we'll find out just how much money Jesse won and how much I lost because I didn't do so well last week. Until then, everybody take care. We'll see you after the game.
Peace. See ya.
Later.